Okay, Tucson Toros, Yahoo Fantasy Baseball Week 5 recap. We're going to take a look at Hunt1981 taking on Waveland and Sheffield. Battle of rivals from a different league. Newcomers to the Tucson Toros League, first meeting all season, and it looks like Hunt1981 came into this undefeated and remained that way. Picked up the win 6-2-2 overall. Hunt is off to a fantastic start, atop the league, has yet to lose, is now 33-12-5. Waveland, just over 500, sits 7th overall in the standings, 24-22-4. A very interesting battle. Toughest challenge of the season so far for Hunt. Hunt's definitely faced some of the weaker teams in the league to open, so definitely one of the toughest teams that team has faced all year, and came out victorious. Hunt took 3 out of 5 in offense and in pitching, despite having season lows in runs and wins, had no saves, and the worst whip of the year. So Hunt didn't have his best stuff this week, but still came out on top. Waveland's season low in homers and average in Week 5, so the offense was not clicking quite to Waveland's liking this week. Worst scores of the year for Waveland in all 5 pitching categories. So definitely an off week for Waveland. Worst time to have an off week when you're playing the toughest team in the league, to at least this point in the season anyway. Did win saves though, 3-0. So Waveland had the lowest saves output of his season, but still came out 3-0 winner in the saves category. And lone win this week for Waveland came from a closer. That's definitely not something you want to see. You definitely want your closers to pick up wins if they're not going to get saves, but if none of your starters pick up wins, then that team definitely showing signs of struggling. A bad week for King Felix. Felix Hernandez for Waveland and Sheffield had an 18.9 ERA and just 3 Ks. He's supposed to rack up Ks. That's where he got his nickname from, and didn't really provide anything this week. Little contribution also from the retooled Carlos Zambrano. He was obviously moved to the bullpen by the Cubs to shore up some of their difficulties in the bullpen, and didn't really provide any fantasy contributions this week. So that could be something that the team may want to take a look at down the road if Zambrano continues to just be a ringer for the bullpen going forward. Interesting stats from Hunt in pitching. The lone win for Hunt was from Randy Wolf. The rest of the team struggled to pick up wins. No saves and a weak bullpen performance this week. Again, Hunt didn't really have their best stuff this week, but still managed to come out on top overall. 21 Ks from Tim Lincecum, no wins. Ryan Dempster, 14 Ks, no wins. So Hunt definitely piled on the Ks, but didn't have the wins to show for it from the starters. Again, Randy Wolf was the only one that picked up a win. Really bad outing for Hunt from Randy Wells, a 27 ERA. The Cubs pitching staff seems to be struggling pretty much everywhere right now, and Randy Wells definitely didn't add to their success in any way. 2 pitchers for Hunt had a 27 ERA, and Hunt still won the ERA category. That's definitely a remarkable statistic. On offense, Hunt had 4 stolen bases from Jose Reyes. Reyes was probably Hunt's best player this week. Dominated the stolen bases category. 7 players hit over 300. That's very important. You get 10 starting spots in your bench, and 7 of those players hit 300. That's fantastic. Has some bench issues with Ankiel on the DL. Rick Ankiel sitting on the DL right now. And Geraldo Parra was actually sent down to AAA, and as of last check, Parra was still in the lineup for Hunt, so that's definitely something the team may want to take a look at. Waveland seemed to have a lot of players only helping in one category, kind of a strange phenomenon. Fantasy baseball, when you can get players to produce in 2, 3, 4, even 5 categories, that's where you wind up successful. The team seemed to have a lot of players who only contributed, at least substantially contributed, in one category. So with everything spread out, it's really hard to pick up wins. Bobby Abreu, for example, 4 runs, no homers, and hit 192 for the week. Marco Scudero, 5 runs, no RBIs for the week. Carlos Lee was definitely a bright spot, might be back on track. Lee's been off to a really rough start to the season, but had some good numbers this week. Albert Pujols, though, very quiet this week. Didn't really bring the bat as he has the last few weeks. As we head forward, it looks like Hunt is going to be putting the top spot in the league on the line, taking on Jimmy Dugan. Dugan, the last year's defending champion, and now 6th place in the standings on a 3-game win streak. So Hunt's taking his undefeated streak against a tough team. And Waveland and Sheffield's going to fall to 7th in the standings overall, 9.5 out of 1st. But facing Bronx Bombers this week. Bombers off to a rough start to the season. Came off a big win over Lucky this week, but Waveland's going to be looking to get back on track and stay amidst the top 6, 7 there and stay in the dogfight up at the top of the standings.